Here we go.
Thank you everyone for coming today. My name is Danielle Gokeen. I'm going to be introducing Sean and Claire with Benjamin Franklin Plumbing in Redmond. The reason I was excited to connect you guys with Sean and Claire is as an agent of 18 years, as we all have clients relying on us for vendors and then just needs for help with different things. Plumbing has always been one of the hardest things for me to find a reliable vendor for, such that I got to the point where I won't even refer a plumber over the years. And Claire and Sean did not get into plumbing as plumbers who organically just kind of fell into it. They actually got into plumbing because they saw an opportunity to provide better customer service, better communication, good quality work, and to make it a better experience for their clients. So I thought it'd be a great natural organic thing to connect them with you great folks here today, and they're gonna do a great class for us. So please welcome Sean and Claire. Thank you so much.
I also just want to mention, I want to give a shout out to the people who showed up to this. Just because this is something that as real estate agents, let's be honest, we are not experts on this at all, but we encounter it on a daily basis. So showing up to a class like this just shows that you want to be an expert. So just want to give you credit for being here.
All right. Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me on the line? I think that is yes.
Thank you.
All right. So my name is Sean McAllister. Claire and I are the owners of Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. We're really happy to be here today to share some of the secrets that might make your job a little bit easier, whether that is helping to make a sale or preventing something from going in the wrong direction. I think if we're honest with ourselves, plumbing isn't sexy. It's not going to make your deal, but it could break your deal. And so let's get into it. So first, I think a little bit about us. So we're part of a national franchise. There are over 260 locations. It gives us a depth of knowledge and understanding across the network that we can leverage, and a lot of resources that maybe smaller locations, independent locations don't have. But we are locally owned and operated. So Claire and I are the owners. And so if you work with Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, you're going to walk out of here today with our phone numbers. And if you have a problem, you call us. We'll make sure it gets sorted out for you. So all of our plumbers are licensed. They're background checked and drug tested. It's part of the franchise requirements. This way you can have peace of mind that if you're recommending and that if we're sending somebody, that those people are the right kind of people for your customers. The thing that underpins our business is punctuality. So I don't know about the rest of you, but my experience with plumbers in this area is if they show up, they're late. And so we pay $5 for every minute that we're late, up to $300. So punctuality is really important to us. We're reliable. Integrity is important to us. So you'll see the you win guarantee. This is something nobody else has. It comes to us from the national franchise. It is a third-party organization that if you are unsatisfied, you're not satisfied with the work that we've done, first you take it up with us. And if you're not happy with the resolution, you can call them. And they will independently investigate whether we have done the right thing. And if they conclude that we have not done the right thing, they will fix it and they will charge us for it. So it gives you a level of confidence that you're going to get the right level of service that many of the others or none of the others around here can meet. So the proof is in the eating of the pudding, as they say. And so this is our Google profile. You can see we have a perfect 5-star reviews. We're up to 92 at the moment. So don't take our word for it. We'll share the presentation after. You can go visit us on Google and read the reviews for yourselves. So why does it matter? As I said, I think this is the sort of thing that can probably break a sale for you, but there are a lot of hidden and costly problems that we're going to tell you about today. And we think if you're the one to spot these things early, it's probably the sort of thing that you can save yourself some pain, maybe make the deal go a little bit smoother, or prevent those callbacks that I imagine you all get when, you know, they've just moved into the house and something isn't working. So we've got some prizes today. Does anybody want to make a guess about what we think are the four biggest things, or certainly the four most expensive things that you can run into?
Oh,
One more time?
water leakage and mold.
It's not on our list, but it could
Water
be.
heater. Water heater breaking.
No,
Sewer blockage.
yeah, I'll give you the sewer blockage. You're gonna get a Ben Franklin Club membership.
Sewer problems, chat,
Yep, that's correct.
Anything else?
main water trough.
Nope,
Old pipes, like broken pipes.
old pipes, who said old pipes? Well, you can't get you can only get it once.
If they clean, I said broken pipes.
Yep. We'll go with that, yeah.
Okay.
We'll get you signed up after.
Weathering of pipes across seasons.
Yeah, we'll go with the old pipes thing.
Pipes.
So it's basically your pipes inside the house, so. We see these four things as the most expensive things that can impact you, so. Your freshwater lines inside the house. The waste lines inside the house, so those are your drains. The sewer line and water quality, can be, we think are the four things that can make or break a deal. So we'll go through each one of them. So water pipe quality. This is the sort of thing to look out for, so CPVC is this one up here. This sort of dates back to the 90s, so if you have an older home, I don't know if you consider an older home, if the 90s is considered old or not, but going back to the 90s, this pipe is, it had a bunch of recalls, and so it gets brittle over the years. And if you have a water hammer in the house, so I don't know, if you've ever heard in an older house, you open and close a valve and you get like a knock in the wall, that sort of thing. So it's a pressure gradient inside of your pipes. If you have that, it can open this up like a Christmas turkey, basically. And then you can end up with massive amounts of water damage. And the only thing you can do is repipe the whole home. The second thing we would say is galvanized piping, and so that's this one up here. It rusts over time, it fills up with debris and just rust in general. It slows down the water, so you get lower water pressure, it discolors the water, it can cause maybe a taste or a smell. And so, and leading to low water pressure. Copper is the gold standard, really, but it's really expensive, so nobody does it anymore, and it does age after a while. So the two things that you could really have in this space with copper is, one, it's just getting old, and eventually it's going to fail. And two, if they were lazy on the install and they left a bunch of, what's that stuff called? You gotta put it on before you solder. And he's like,
Sealant.
no, flux.
Yeah.
Thank you. Flux. So if they didn't properly clean the flux off, it slowly corrodes the copper over time. So if you have to do a whole house repipe, it's not the nicest. Anybody want to take a guess at how much that could cost?
30,000.
Depends
Depends on the size of the house.
Depending on the house.
True.
2,000 square foot house versus 6,000, big difference.
And depends on you have a crawl space, you have basement, or how many floor you have. All other factors.
15,000, 20,000.
So possible.
Yeah, anywhere from say 12 to 25, 30, and it depends who you call. Some people are a lot more expensive than others.
But I think it's even more expensive in much older house, the concrete basement.
Yes, concrete basement is not more expensive, that's
That's-
for sure.
Yeah, you gotta break the jackhammer out. We've had to do that a few times.
What content is gold for pipe or for copper?
50 years. Our home is from the 90s and the copper is still going strong.
That any new material?
One more time, sorry?
That any new material instead of those ones you show, like before you.
So, yeah, So we just give you a couple examples of homes that we've repiped. So this was a house that had CPVC in it. The pictures are a little on the small side. You can see it up here if you get close, but you see the blue and the white. It's called PEX. Cross-linked polyethylene is the new standard. We like PEX A. There's two types. There's PEX A and PEX B. Most plumbers like PEX A. It uses expansion, so you put this little collar over it, expand it, stick the joint in, and it shrinks on its own. It's much more resistant to temperature changes and the like. So that's the new standard for piping. So these guys had, this was in Redmond, I believe, yeah, Redmond. They had multiple failures of their piping. They had to have people in to do spot repairs. And then they just sort of got tired of it and said, right, let's do the whole house. You can see that we've got to open up the drywall. So that's not the nicest for the homeowner. There's really no way around that. The best time is if you're doing a remodel, you've already got all the drywall off. Do the piping then, you're gonna save a boatload of money. We don't do any drywall work ourselves, but we do have some partners that we work with. And we can recommend them. I'm sure you all have somebody as well in your network. But that's kind of what we do in this space. And here again, you can see the CPVC, right? So you've got that sort of beige color of piping. That's what to look out for. We had another one in Sammamish. This was about a month ago, or sorry, they moved in about.
They're moving like a month in, and then the pipe was leaking. And then they want us to go to fix it and also have to fix the leak damage. So the drywall people say, okay, let's go to handyman come first and do the drywall. And then even handyman not handyman contractor, and they just snap the pipe. That's easy. So the CPV pipe is that the plumber don't want to even touch. So it's like once you touch one part of it and you can snap this part, you have to fix this part, and you have to fix that part. So it's really very kind of dangerous. So if you have customer like have this kind of issues and you find earlier on, would be nicer. And if your customer call you, hey, my pipe just leaked, and then you know who you people, then we can help. So we went in to help the customer, and we will work on the CPV pipe because they were not ready to be pipe, actually just moving, right? So they were saying, we are not ready to just the pipe, but can you just help us out to change those important angle stop because of leaking? And then we had to work very carefully, and also water main shut off, also leaking. So have to be very gentle and work like spend more time to work on this pipe.
So the next one on our list is the wastewater lines for your drains, basically. So really, you've got cast iron is what to look out for. So eventually it rusts at the end of the day. It can start leaking slowly, causing water damage. And eventually you get flow blockages that have to be cleaned out. So that's sort of number one to look out for. Galvanized pipe, same basic story. So they rust, eventually they get clogged, they leak. The one that's harder to see, you're not going to be able to pick it out, but it's really more for your knowledge, is improper installation. So you can see the correct installation is all pipes should have a bit of grade on, right, to get the water to move. Sometimes they're flat, and then you've got water stagnating and stuff falling down and collecting, and then you've got to get your drains cleaned all the time. And then you've got sagging. So if they haven't properly anchored it enough, then it'll sag in the middle, and then you'll get water collecting and debris collecting there. Any guesses on this one? How much that might cost to have your drains done? And by the way, you can have both done at the same time. You can need both.
Are you talking about like from your house all the way to the street sewer?
No,
line?
so only inside the house. We'll do sewers next.
Okay,
Depends how long. I actually had a sagging one that was, a few years ago, it was like about $400.
Yeah, just to do one pipe. I'm
One section.
sort of saying if you had to do the whole house and repipe it.
I can believe it's fine.
All the answers are correct. As long as you're above 10,000, your answer is correct. So we've got a couple examples as well. So there's one of our guys, Carlos. He's doing a job with some galvanized pipes. So the customer was suffering from repeated blockages and they've had plumbers out. They snaked the drain to work for a while and then same old problem. So we ended up doing a full repipe for them on the drain.
When you guys do a full repipe, do you actually, well, the old pipe or just kind of run a new line?
Strip all the old stuff out, put brand new stuff in. Unless it's, you know, to the point made earlier, if it's running through concrete, I think we'll leave it there.
And it actually doesn't take that much time, you can imagine, and the customer still can live in the house actually. We can do section of the pipe and every day when the plumber leaves, they can just turn the water back on. Just much more work for us, but it's doable. We have one of our projects like that, that the customer still live in the house. And then we can finish the project in a week. It depends on the house design, but it can be faster, but about a week we can finish the job.
So. Everybody's eating. Wait, no. Do you wanna see what these pipes look like when they get removed?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, you're all right?
Wait.
Okay, so this was a person that had the issue about the sagging or bad slope, right? They were improper installation. So this is our guy Luke was in there. We'll just skip ahead to,
So
he's cutting it open for you. It's not always glorious to be a plumber.
There's no pressure.
No, this is a drain line.
Oh, this.
And then you will,
Sorry, you see?
yeah. So you will see more stuff coming out.
Oh, it fell down.
You got it out.
We are going to repipe the whole the kitchen line.
So you can see what happens when it's not draining properly. So that builds up and up and up, and then all of a sudden you've got slow drains. We can come snake that out. But it'll be right back again.
No point.
How do you diagnose that?
I mean, that's what the plumbers do. They go in and they'll take a look.
Is that?
It's under the pro space.
Is that food waste?
Food, fast,
Yeah.
air, whatever is going down the drain,
Good thing.
that's it.
Yeah, so this pipe work in the pro space, so you couldn't see, you have to have a special, like plumber go into the pro space, take a look at all the pipe underneath and see. And then this customer call say, I barely use my kitchen now, because every time you use the kitchen say, wow. So and then he only boil food. I was like, what? And then he should say, it's just weird, I think that there's some issue deep down there, because after I did snake, a week after, lock again. I was saying, oh, I can send a plumber to take a look what's going on, and then send a plumber, and it's not saying the pipe is so wrong. Even didn't apply the code.
Okay. Number 3, the sewer line. So lots of fun here. Really older homes could potentially have clay or what's called Orangeburg. It's a sort of tar paper. They crack, they fail over time. They suffer a lot from root ingress. So we all have those beautiful trees in our front yard. Know that they are attacking your sewer lines and trying to get their roots inside. And so this is what it looks like when they finally do. They will slowly over time work their way in and, you know, plug your drains or your sewer line. There's no way for you to do this, essentially. Like, you cannot know this. The only thing you can do is recommend that we send someone out to do an inspection. We have specialist systems. We have camera systems that we can put inside and take a look and see if everything is good or if there's potentially a problem. That would be part of our inspection. For you. Really, if your home is more than 20 years old, it's the sort of thing you should be thinking about because it's costly to replace a sewer line. But even like modern materials, you still have this issue with roots. So this, you can see in this picture here, it's not clay, it's more of a plastic. So it happens.
Can I ask a question? Is it the nutrients that those roots are seeking out?
I mean, you know, trees are looking everywhere and it gets pretty dry here in the summer. I suspect it's a nice source of water for them. But I imagine the nutrients are a bonus.
Yeah, and then I just wanted to ask the room for those of you who do pre-inspections or have inspection stuff for your clients, do you always do a super scope?
Depending on the age of.
Depending on the age of the house?
How old would you say? Well, for sure, anything like 1970 or 1990, maybe, I guess. Less than that.
I would say if they got a lot of bushes and trees in the front yard, that would probably be a reason to take a look and you can get the seller, whichever side of the deal you're on, you can get the other side to fix it.
Is for the plumbing, what do you? You guys do the replacement
Yes,
and
yeah,
then do you do, you know, they have the one that insert that goes in and it's a flexible.
we're not doing that one right now. I know what you're talking about. It's like a,
Because it just has.
like a
to dig
stint
to
sort of
point
thing.
A. Yeah, like a stint, yeah, that's a good analogy. Is they just dig point A, point B, and then they just dig through it, well, we did that for a concrete pipe.
no, she's talking about where you don't replace
It's
the
like-
pipe, you go inside, you put like a liner
A
inside.
liner, yeah.
Oh, okay, I stand corrected. We can do that.
Yeah, it really depends on the plumber. So once we just hired the plumber and he's so experienced, he basically everything, such as amazing.
So for another club membership, any guesses as to how much replacing your sewer line could cost?
25,000.
My brother paid 25,000 in New Jersey for a very short front yard, because I know it depends on how
Yeah.
far you
How
have to.
far house to the.
From the
Yes.
house to the street.
How deep it's buried.
Yeah,
Correct. So all correct again.
yeah. they help me.
You don't have any. You're like, oh, well, we're behind one house.
So it just collapsed.
Also just out.
Paper, has it just collapsed over the years or?
I don't know what it was, but.
So it just got old and came out?
Yeah, it was like 1940s house, so like they eventually just fall apart.
Yeah, I mean,
He was like one of the last on the street he lives on to guess. Like he knew it was coming. It was like everybody else had dug up the wrong already.
well, then he, sounds like he did all right. If he was the last one at the end of the day. All right, so a couple customers that have been in this problem. So, this customer had water exfiltrating or coming out of the drain in the bathroom downstairs whenever somebody upstairs would take a shower, so. You can see the movie here, they turn the water on and the water would come out. So we tried cabling the main line. It didn't work, so then we sewer scoped it and that is not a real picture, like we did open up the sewer line, but we used our water jetter. You can like use 4,000 PSI, you can cut the roots out and drive them down into the sewer. So we solved that problem for the customer, but yeah, it's something that happens.
We have a customer have to do gutter like every 2 years, they don't have to do maintenance. And that's a pain, right? It's like, I have to do this every 2 years and, yeah. But if we do the sewer inspection, that would be really good for the customer to understand the sewer situation, yeah. And
So the next thing we were thinking of is around water quality. So I think this is a little bit more important for customers on a well or your clients that are looking to buy something in the countryside. Know that the city, nobody tests their water. You as the owner of the home with the well are responsible to test your own water quality. You should do that annually, if any of you live on a well. And so there are a lot of different options out there to help with water quality. So I printed this off. You can see it if you want to, but it's the sort of thing you can't unsee. So this is even within municipalities where the water is tested, there are contaminants. And so that is a report for 98034. You'll see that there are some heavy metals in there. There are some various fluoro. So when they do the purifying of the water, There are things that are left over, right? They're using chlorine to purify the water. There are chemicals that get left over. There's an independent organization called, I think it's Environmental Water. Yes, EWG, happy to share the link with you. You can go, maybe at the end of this, if you want to see, we can go to the website, see for yours.
I want to share this. So Sean is a person like a big fan of, I am drinking tap water. Tap water is safe. And I was the person always wants to use filter, even just to have filter. And he was like, I don't use that. Until he saw the results. And then we bought the tankless under the kitchen. And he said, oh, I love this the taste of water. I enjoy water. Every day he brings this big bottle of water to the office. But anyway, so it's just something to share. So people change their concepts. They are learning something new, like water quality, where we now.
So we can help with all of the different things. So filtration systems. There's all kinds of different filters out there to remove lead, to remove various chemicals like activated carbon. That's more for you. So what you see in the top here is more for your mainline water softener. It's not really a problem around here. Our water is not hard, but it might be on a well. So we can do all of those things. UV is a sterilizer to kill any sort of, it doesn't kill the bacteria, it just sterilizes it so it can't reproduce. But that's how you purify your water in a well. Now, this thing is what Claire was just making fun of me for. So reverse osmosis is the gold standard. So it takes out almost all contaminants. Can explain how it works after. And then you just have to change the filter every so often. The reverse osmosis is a ceramic filter. It's every 2 to 4 years. And then there's an activated carbon filter, and that's every year. But we can go into further details if you like.
Is the UV tech pretty new?
I mean, my parents had it when I was in university. That was 20 years ago.
Okay.
So it's been around a while.
Yeah, we all grew up on wells and we used the reverse osmosis filters for everything.
Did you? Oh, that's
Or I grew up, my family grew up on wells, so I think that always.
I think we realize the water quality is so important until one customer called us and said, my wife is pregnant and the baby's coming soon. And we just tested our water. We have heavy metal in our water. And we also want to plant our vegetable and fruit in our backyard. I cannot use this water. And then we feel, wow, this is helpful. If you are just using water, those kind of water every day to shower, wash your vegetable, cook, everything. I don't think anyone will buy a house like this without protection. But yeah, this is something we think is serious.
well, this is part of the report from that customer. She was about to be a new mom. She didn't consider US safety guidelines to be stringent enough, so she was quoting European regulations. And the lead content was something like 10 times what Europe would allow, and she's like, I'm not having it. So we provided her with a bunch of options on how to filter the water. What's not on here, because the list was like this long, she had uranium in her water as well. So all kinds of fun stuff can come out of a well. And then, the reverse osmosis is really for drinking. Now, if you're really crazy, you can RO the whole house. And some people have asked about it. Nobody's bitten on that yet. But I don't know why you'd want to flush RO water down the toilet, but you got the money, I suppose. Right, so those we think are the big potential deal breakers. But there are a few other things that we think might make the home more appealing, or you might want to point out to the customer or your client rather, that might make it more appealing. So I think we're going to do the guessing game again. Anybody want to have a gander or a guess at that?
Guess of what?
Water pressure?
The water can make your house it's really important, but not that expensive. It's not about 10,000. But if you have that, it's nice to say, hey, it's you.
Sorry,
This is the
2 to 5, 4. Oh, it depends on the system, how much the filters would cost. It depends on a lot of things. There are as many filters as you can think of, and then you can put them in series. So that you can have one part particulate matter, then this, the lead, then something and something and something. So it's a little bit like Lego, you can stick it together as much as you like. Our,
5,000, 5 to 6,000.
yeah,
For water.
Whole house.
Water change things.
You're asking what won't break the deal, but could make your own.
Let's go on the last topic.
yeah, people are passionate.
Chat says water filtration system, tankless water heater and new PEX lines.
Well, we got some good answers in there. They win a prize, club membership.
Krista.
All right, these were the things we were thinking of. So angle stops, and I'm gonna tell you a horror story that's my own horror story in a minute about angle stops. Why we think those are important is because they can cause a lot of damage. You know, really to change one is $250, $300 to have a plumber come in and do it. Gets cheaper the more you do, but it could save you having a $20,000 insurance claim. And I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Leaky fixtures, right? Like, I don't know how your customers and clients feel about when they walk in and it's drip, drip, drip. The washer box, this is now.
To add one thing for the leaky fixture. So people sometimes think, okay, the shower or tub, it's dripping. And it's easy to fix, can be cheap, but it can be actually not that cheap. You probably need to, if you want to replace a cartridge, and if that company doesn't have that type of cartridge anymore, you want to buy a new set. And then once you buy a new set, you have to do some work around the tile. So basically, the whole thing will be probably around $2,000 rather than $400. So that's why we say if you have someone just have to new the shower set, perfect, great. Because if it is a hole, they are start leaking, it can be much more expensive than the customer. Usually customers say, what? I need to spend so much money just repair this because the shower set probably only comes with $6. And you have to spend almost $2,000. It's crazy. And that's why we put this here. I think this is something you can mention. It's nice because I want to use that. And yeah, the angle stops that customer usually need to replace like a 10 or more than 10 angle stop at home, right? And that can be $2,000 job as well. So that's why we put that there.
And they're super important. Super important.
We had experience.
Yeah.
So what do they do?
So anytime you go into a house, open up the, like underneath the sink or wherever, and you'll see that the fresh water lines will have a little valve. If something goes wrong with your fixture, you go in there and you turn it off. If you don't have that, then it just runs forever.
Yeah, we had pipe burst was
Well, let's
there.
go through the list.
Sorry.
So the washer box, this is now a code requirement. So if somebody comes in and does an inspection and they don't see one, guess what? You get to do one, or you get to have one installed. And if you have a problem with it, then there could be an insurance problem at the end of the day, because they're always looking for a reason not to pay out. Having a clean out as well. So that just makes it easier to clean your sewer line, saves you a lot of money. And then a new water line. So we'll get into all of that in more detail. So let's start with water heaters. Most of them should have a sticker from whoever installed it originally that has the date of installation. The average life is about 10 years. So if you're going in and you see that their tank is 12, 15, 20 years old, either advise your client to replace it or if you're on the buying side, then tell them they want the seller to replace it or take it out of the price. Signs of trouble can be rust around like seams and things like that. If you see water on the floor, that could be a warning sign. Upgrading also improves efficiency now. They're just getting more efficient over the years. And there are some really interesting options out there. So this one here is an example, is an A.O. Smith. It's got like a vacation mode on it, stuff like that. Some of them will connect to your Wi-Fi, control them from the phone, etc.
What about tankless?
I'm glad you
That's
asked.
the good thing, right?
So I spent a few years living in Europe. These things are everywhere in Europe. And that's whether it's a space related issue, I couldn't tell you, but they're fantastic. The other name for tankless is endless hot water. So as long as you've got gas, you've got hot water. So they're much more energy efficient because they're not storing any hot water. It's on demand. They have a longer lifespan. They last about 20 odd years versus the 10 for a hot water tank. They're much more compact, so they take less space. They're just nicer to look at. So you can put that in a closet, and it takes up almost no space, whereas most hot water tanks that are in garages around here, and take up a lot of space. And most tanks are 50-gallon. You can get bigger. We can do some tricks to turn a 50-gallon into 75-gallon. But if you have a big family or you take a lot of showers, then that might be the option for you.
I have a loaded question.
Shoot.
So I replaced my hot water heater, you guys hate it when they call them hot water heaters, don't you?
No, it's fine.
Okay, my Spectre does, it's like, it's a water heater, not a hot water heater, okay, anyway.
You're the customer. You're always right.
We replaced the water heater in my place and we did not go tankless because we don't have gas. And I was just wondering if you could explain.
Yeah, it's just that the electric isn't producing enough watts. It can't get hot enough and move enough joules into the water to heat it up properly. So
Right.
our plumbers refuse to recommend electric tankless.
Great, so just that's the point, electric tankless doesn't work. It's just, but they do exist.
Just
They do
have a lot of
exist.
issue. Yeah, just have a lot of issue, back home, careful, and our plumbers have job, because it's naturally going to fail, right? Going to have error, and they don't like that, exactly, because probably.
And then I have one more loaded question, which was, when these things get installed incorrectly without clean out valves, right? You know what I'm talking about?
This is the sort of question that would be good for a plumber.
Yeah.
We're actually calm now, so our boys, our plumber just finished the job, and I just say go together, and it's a waterman deep, so it's a big job. And they went out to address and they asked, try to see if we can do a job together, and they just finished. It was so efficient, we can go out, what else?
Yeah, I mean, just the point is I know I'm not teaching this class, but I've heard through our coaching program actually, that it's very common for people to come across tankless water heaters that do not have the clean out valves installed. So in order to get them cleaned or flushed, you have to get the valves installed. So if you find a tankless water heater at a house that doesn't have those clean out valves, what you can do is request that they flush out the water heater. And in order to flush that water heater out, the seller will have to install those very expensive valves in order to follow through with their commitment to flush it out. So it's a hack where you can get very expensive work done by the seller when they don't even realize they have to get it done, just by asking them to flush.
How much do you use? Look, water line. Hey, look, we have a question here.
Oh, Luke, my question was, Jordan here. We've noticed that a lot of tankless water heaters have been installed without, I believe they're called like flush out valves or something like that.
Right, so there are, you're talking about the service valves on the bottom of the tank that allows us to flush the tank and
Right.
all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, by code, you're supposed to have service valves on there in order to descale the tank and, even more nifty, you can actually run a hose from it and use it as a hot water to wash your car or your dogs or whatnot. But, they aren't supposed to be there for servicing the tank.
Perfect. And so if we don't see them, that's something we would want to call out to our customers, right?
Absolutely, and then also check the manufacturer date on the tank, because typically it's gonna be within, 8 months to a year for manufacturer to install. And if you see that it's, been installed for many years and that means it hasn't been serviced because there is no way to service it.
Perfect. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Luke.
But you guys get what I'm getting at there, right? That if you don't know what's up with that thing, the inspector notices that those valves aren't there. You can ask for it to get serviced simply, and then the seller's gonna have to get those valves installed, which is the expensive part, in order to fulfill their commitment to clean it. Anyway, a little bit of a distraction, but I think
No,
we're
it's
done.
good, because it reminded me that you should get your hot water tank serviced every year.
It will last longer.
Yeah, it'll last longer.
Save-
And not doing so, sorry?
What's the cost of it?
Well, if you have a fan club membership, it's included.
water heater, both needs to be.
Yeah, both need annual service. And it will probably void your warranty if you do not have that done.
And how long can you push the water heater's lifespan then?
I mean, it is entirely dependent on, like, everything that gets manufactured is normally distributed. The average is 10 years.
But-
You could get one that lasts 50 years.
We have customer use same water heater for 17 years.
That was a little question, because I have a 27-year-old water heater in my house right now.
Oh, you got me.
I mean, I would just stop talking about it.
Oh,
I
you're
have
right,
recommend changing it
I know.
because something happened in mine was over 22 years
Wow.
and. Well, if you start looking at your water, there's little debris that's in there.
We've
And
had it all cleaned out. and
my
everything.
filters get
Stuff-
plugged up and I'm
Yeah.
like, what's going on? That's all from that water.
Yeah, I know it's gotten serviced and all, so. And it's in the garage, so it's not gonna leak in the house.
I think your real risk there is one day it's just gonna give up the ghost.
Yeah.
And you won't have hot water and it'll be on Christmas Day. It happened to me too.
What's the cost of replacing the water heaters?
So it depends on what you want and the complexity of the job. If it's a straight swap out, 2,500 to 3,000 sort of thing. You want to start having weird and wonderful things, like you want the Wi-Fi tank. Those things start costing $2,000-3,000 pop, and then we got to do the work on top. So
Five, 6.
yeah,
Okay, so but usually, you just want to straightforward the tank and
that's
reliable brand for.
yeah, 2,500 to 3,000 for a straight 50-gallon swap, natural gas or
And
electric.
you will update everything, like installation tank, the water line, gas line.
You take the old one away, it'll be all code when we leave. How are we doing on time?
5 minutes.
So we
That's
got
right there.
I
If you go a little over.
Is it? Okay, apologies, lost track of time there. So these are the brands that our plumbers really like. So for tanked, it is Bradford White, #1, A.O. Smith, #2. Stay away from the Home Depot and Lowe's brands. And then when it comes to endless hot water, we like Navien, Rinnai, Bosch, maybe. Those are the good ones, we think.
So the other thing I want to add is like, when we say AOC, we are talking about commercial level. So if you as a direct one for you, we'll get commercial level for you, but if you go to Lowe's to order by yourself, you will get residential level, yeah. So this is a little secret that customers don't know, but only customers know.
It's the same with faucets, by the way. If you go to a plumbing supply store, you get brass as the innards. You go to Home Depot, you get plastic. That's why it's cheaper. So
Use a high level stuff.
that's why we go to the plumbing supply companies. So main water lines, this one you can't really inspect. It's just one of those things, if they've had it done recently, then, it's one of those things that can cost a lot of money. It's hidden, you can't see it. It gets old, it fails. I actually brought a show and tell. We did a spot repair. Can't really see it, but that's what your inbound water line looks like. Somehow, they did some sort of rework or what's the right word, not renovation, but when you sort of landscape. And they had this massive rock that was sitting on top of their water line. And over years, it compressed it and caused a leak, so we had to cut that out and replace it. Anyway, it's just one of those things that it can be really expensive to do, especially depending on how far you are from the water meter. We quoted a couple jobs that were like 300 feet from and so you gotta bring in a specialist company. They bore a hole, shoot conduit, and then we'll replace the line. But we get a lot of these calls. A lot of people have a lot of trouble with their main water line.
So we mentioned this basically every week I will receive at least 2 calls. So basically two, so happens, yeah, it happens so often. And our guy just fix a repair one, just the vitamin leak, when that happen is the water company will call you, say your water bill goes way up high. And then you cannot find anything leak in your house. And then that's the time you want to find a plumber to come take a look, and then we'll check your meter and see if it actually is leaking your water head. And then you have two options, you can use spouting there or replace the whole thing. If the pipe is bad, you probably just want to replace the whole thing, because if you want spout repair this year and then spout repair next year, probably you can replace the whole thing already. So yeah, so the plumber will give you the option, so if your customer just replace the wire, right? Great, something to bring up.
So this was a customer that we actually had, that was exactly the scenario that Claire was describing. So they were having, high water usage. They were contacted by the city. They changed everything they thought could be the problem within the house. When that didn't work, they called us. We came out, I diagnosed the problem, did a spot repair. It's not a problem anymore.
This was their main water line.
Correct. Yeah, so you can, if I play that again, it's really hard to see, but you can see the water coming out right there. There's a little puddle around there. That's all it takes.
It didn't puddle enough that like there was like a wet, like
No.
depression in the yard.
But we have a customer like a head leak, like an hour 20 gallon. And then when we open it, the water is
Okay.
and that's very sensitive, the one of the, so they just wanted to ask to go there and fix right there, you will find the.
But one of the things you can look for, especially in the summer, grass all turns brown here. If you see like one green spot in the middle of the yard. Work for the wise. Then just a few ankle biters and then we'll conclude. So ankle stops. So I wanted to come back to this topic. This is plastic. We had this in our house. And we had, it came with the washer and dryer. There was pipes, one of our not pipes, but like hosing that failed. So I replaced the hoses, but not in exactly the same way. So it was longer before and it was absorbing the energy from a water hammer. And so whenever our washing machine would open the valve, it would create a water hammer. And so we were home inside, thank God, because we were doing work outside. And the washing machine ticked over, opened up the valve, and it was, that noise shh as it's filling the drum. But it was 10 times the normal volume. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right to me. So I went charging in the direction of the noise. Claire went running into the laundry room. I went into the bathroom that was beside it. It sheared and blew this thing off. So I was reaching in to try and turn off the water, but there was nothing to turn off. It was locked off. So
Coming out almost like it's so scary.
yeah, I'm trying to see if I wrote down the name. I can't remember, but these were recalled. And so if you see these, run the other way. If you've got them at home, run the other way. And just have someone come out and fix them, because if it goes when you're away, it's a nightmare. Like I refuse to run the dishwasher or the laundry or the dryer. I refuse to do anything when I'm not home now.
Where do you find that? Under the.
Yeah, so
sink?
first, check to make sure you've got them. And then if you have them, look under sinks, behind your dishwasher, the laundry box that we showed you before.
Yeah.
Wherever it is, this thing. So these are the same thing, but they're up where you can see them. But anywhere you've got a fixture, you should have an angle stop or a shut off valve.
And then luckily, he knew where the water main shut.
Yes, know where your water main shut off is.
Very important.
Because if something goes wrong with your pipe somewhere that doesn't have an angle stop, you gotta go out and turn off the mains.
Yeah, if you live in a condo or an apartment, really know where it is.
Yes, and many times the units do not have them, or they're downstairs somewhere. And so we've installed a few shut offs in condos for people. Slow drains, I think that's an obvious one after what you've heard here, but it could put a customer off. Leaking fixtures, we talked about that a little bit. What's important is if you see multiple faucets and fixtures dripping, you might have high water pressure, at which point you need a pressure relief valve. It lowers the pressure of your water. If you don't do that, if you've got high water pressure, it destroys your fixtures over time. So your washing machine, your dishwasher, your shower, faucet, all of it.
How do you lower the water pressure?
One more time, sorry.
How do you lower the water pressure?
With a pressure reducing valve. So it's a valve that we can install and it lowers the water pressure for you.
Where do you install it?
Lots of places it can be done,
Depends on where your wire main shut off. Usually suppose your wire main shut off, we will install one there. So some people's wire main shop is under the ground. We have done that twice for the customer. And then we'll take a 4 hours for it to just dig and then find the meter and do the things. But it was also some people just have very straightforward to in the garage. Some people have in the total space, it's weird, but you have to find have a plumber to find it. Some people say, I just need someone to buy my VR first, and then I want to replace it. They even don't know where's their wrong.
So sort of summing up, why partner with us? Why call us? Well, we'll give you an honest assessment. It's no obligation and we do transparent pricing. So what is on the estimate is what the customer ends up paying. We got that wrong, that's on us. We don't do time and material. We don't show up at the end of the job with more cost. Unless there's been a fundamental change and we're talking about a change order, but that's a different story and we'll let the customer know. If there's any delay, it's you we pay, right? So if we're late, we pay. The you-win guarantee, and you can deal direct with us if you feel like your customers are not being served the way that they should be. So benefits to you, we've left out here some coupons. Basically, you're getting a discounted inspection that you can share with your customers. So I think it's, I don't know how much it was, but anyway, it's, you're getting a coupon off our full costs for that. You give us a call, we'll prioritize your customers. We'll solve the problems quickly, which is going to make you look good. And we offer financing to customers. So we have some options if they qualify. It can be 12 months. No, if you pay it off in 12 months, there's 0 interest. So if you're in the process of selling a home, that might be a nice deal. So $50 off any inspection or sewer inspection, $200 off the water heater, and God forbid somebody needs a repipe, $500 off. So we serve basically Kirkland, Redmond, Woodinville, Bothell, and beyond. I don't know what your geographic scope is here, but I'm pretty sure that we service it.
Seattle.
Well, we do Seattle.
To do something.
That's the beyond.
Yeah, that's the beyond, exactly.
Where's the next franchise? That franchise started near, like,
Montana, I think. So there was one in Bellevue, but they decided they didn't want to continue.
so I just wonder, because I own franchise, and I just, we have different, there's.
Yeah, exactly. So our territory is basically
We're Ben Franklin,
Woodinville to Sammamish, Kirkland, to Carnation.
but since there's no one else, you can go.
But since there's no one else,
Yeah.
Seattle is our,
Yeah. I
is where
get
we play.
So you can do South.
We can do everything. We don't like going further south and say like mid Seattle, Bellevue, or Sammamish. That's kind of, we're not really into Renton and an area, but if you really need us, we're there for you. And as a special thank you, everyone's actually gonna get a club membership. So hopefully you've signed, given us your information, because we can't put you on the club unless you do so. So if you just passed it on through, now's your chance to go get it.
What's this thing?
What is it?
So club membership, everyone got one today, and you will get
Oh, wow.
annual plumbing safety inspection for free and standard water heater maintenance, like annually.
That's awesome. Can I schedule it now?
And then you will have reduced trip charge, and then you have 15% off repair and service.
That's
It's
pretty good.
very, very.
So it's normally $15 a month, and so for you guys, it's free this
That's
year.
incredible. But thank you so much.
Well, we thank you very much for having us today.
Oh, this
I'm saying no,
And I
but
think plumbing is very expensive to begin with,
yes.
but I think if you can work with someone who's reliable, I think that.
So that's our thing is, we know that plumbers have a bad reputation in Seattle. And so providing a high level of customer service, being where we say we're gonna be, having transparent pricing. That really spoke to us and we thought there is an opening in the market for a business that operates. So that's our ambition.
So, when you schedule a job, then do you give like a 3-hour window when you're gonna show up?
So it varies throughout the day. So the first job of the day, 1 hour window, so 8 and 9, 9 and 10. And then it tends to be, say, 2 hours after that, and then 3 or more. And if we try not to do more than 3 jobs a day, because we want our plumbers spending time educating the customer, explaining what the problems are, taking a look at their entire plumbing system. Now, not all customers let us do that. That's entirely up to them, but what we don't want is, hey, you were just here and then my hot water tank failed 3 days later. Why didn't you say something? If you don't let me look at your hot water tank, nothing I can do about it. But so we want them to spend time with the customer, build trust, and explain what's going on with their plumbing, so they walk away feeling comfortable with the solutions that we're offering.
So
What?
do you,
Sorry, go ahead.
so do you just come, well, a call for you guys come buy a job, you just come out for a free estimate and then take quote it based on job, not by hour?
Correct. So that's why it's important that we come out, physically look at the job, because we're gonna quote a fixed price to do that work. Whereas many others are time and material, and so they can say, we think it'll be about this much, and then the next thing you know, you thought it was 1,000 and you got a $5,000 bill. It depends on what we're talking about. What is it, 1 year on workmanship?
Yeah, usually.
25.
There use 1 year workmanship warranty. But if like you have to repay, then that will be 5 years. And the material wise will be 25 years. So it really depends on the job. And sometimes the customer buys something, asks to install, and that would, because we don't know the product. If the product fail and it call us like so that would be shorter, so. Yes.
Standard hot water tank is 6 years. You can buy a 10-year. You can buy an extension of 4 years. But it really depends on what we're talking about. I think the piping on a whole house repipe, the material is guaranteed for 25. So.
I just throw in, like, one of the reasons we brought these guys in here is what he's saying about plumbers. It's comparable to real estate agents, right? There is huge variance in professionalism and integrity. I don't know any other plumbers who give a flat quote and stick to it personally. And I work with a lot of contractors in a lot of different areas, and the common denominator of what I'm typically looking for is them sticking to their quote. And what you're gonna see is their quotes are probably, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but their quotes are probably gonna be a little bit higher than some of the other ones you see. But that's because they're telling you the truth.
Well, we're not trying to be the most expensive, and we're not trying to be the cheapest. We're trying to be fair.
Value.
Yeah, value, exactly.
Yes.
So
But that's why I'll be calling you guys, because I don't have a plumber right now that does that.
appreciate it.
Yeah, so for example, when you install faucet for the customer, so usually faucet is like, for example, an hour job. And then the house is so old, when all plumber touch the water line broke. And everything they touch it broke, so they spend 3 hours there and change everything new, same price. So it's like
Huge deal.
it's a huge deal, so it's a small part, we're not going to charge you because we stay there for 3 hours, but drain cleaning, sometimes drain cleaning, some people think. But plumber are sometimes afraid of the drain cleaning because you cannot see, you don't know what you are going to face, right? So sometimes the drain cleaning can be 10 minutes, 20 minutes, but sometimes it can be an hour, 2 hours, never know, so. We still stick with the same price.
And
then,
you've got a risk of damaging the pipes when you're doing it. It's a tough job being a plumber.
yeah, so that's
What about
how
HVAC?
our pipes are.
Sorry?
What about HVAC?
HVAC, we don't do HVAC, but there are some 1 hour heating and cooling that are opening up in the area. They're part of so we have tri-brand, so there's Benjamin Franklin Plumbing that does plumbing. There's 1 hour heating and cooling that does HVAC, and there's Mr. Sparky that does electrical. And I know that in Renton and Redmond, 2 1 hours are opening, and they will have exactly the same philosophy that we have. And if you want to talk to them and have them come in, I would let them open up and get their feet under them, but I'm sure we can help you meet with them if you want to learn about HVAC.
Yeah,
That'd be
it'd
awesome.
be interesting to do all three, right? Who doesn't want electric plumbing and HVAC?
Yeah, I don't know that there are any Mr. Sparkies here yet, but there are definitely some HVAC companies coming.
A lot of people ask for electric bulbs, to be installed. I think that's something new and,
Well, the one thing I know about electric is in the 80s, you got to watch out for aluminum wiring. Yeah, that's the big thing, I think. And then I suppose the old twist in they're not breakers, when it fuses.
Sean, one question I have is what is the average price of different types of you see. So that we know if somebody has, if I'm fixing this house to go to market, what would it cost?
So I really hesitate to give you a number, because the one thing we don't want to do is give you a number, and then that number is either ridiculously high or ridiculously low. Because the thing that makes residential plumbing different from, say, like new construction is like an assembly line, ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. When our guys go into a house, it's a different problem every time with a different plumbing system. And so they got to problem solve each one. So I don't want to tell you, hey, it costs this much to do a hot water tank. You tell your client that, and then we come out and it's some weird job in a crawl space. You got to get some weird squat tank. And the next thing you know, we're telling you it's $5,000. And they're like, well, hey, Deepak said, what's this about? So that's why we really insist on sending a plumber out and giving you something in writing. And then, it's up to you to decide, not you personally, but your client to decide whether they want to go forward with that. That's a number they can stand on.
Well, I was thinking of the ranges because people love to know the ranges, but with the caveat that you need the plumber to.
Yeah, I mean, an angle stop, say like 250 and up, hot water tank, 2,400 and up. A repipe is gonna be 10,000 and up. What other common jobs? How about a main water line? Yeah, toilet, $400 and up.
So main water line want to do replacement, like it also 10,000 and up. And only if that's much shorter, yes, because how long?
Right.
It's a long, it become really
Well,
special.
And then the other thing is, we had one job where they had a tree in the front yard and they didn't want to lose the tree. So we had to bring in a vacuum truck to vacuum out the dirt around the roots. And then they shot the conduit. So,
Wow.
you know what I mean? Like it's,
Yeah, we have.
They had the money, so they wanted a tree.
exactly, it's not my place to judge.
Right.
So the customer is always right. We will find a way to make it work for them, but that's where it's really difficult to tell you,
No, I agree, Sean. I think these estimates help, in all areas, if you have a rough estimate, then you can say, let me look further.
Yeah.
To give you accurate. That gives them a range, like some ballpark.
So, yeah, if you come across it, give us a call. We'll happily, give you something over the phone that you can speak to your client about, and then if they're getting serious
Yeah.
about it, then we can send someone out.
I agree, like the main line, that's good to know, it's 10,000 enough.
Yeah,
Water heater, basic 2,500 enough.
exactly.
So just these things have, the benchmark.
Cool. We've stayed longer than we were invited, but let me just say, let's keep the deals flowing smoothly together.
Exactly.
I was really proud of that, so.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Just pass down my business card, so if you have my cell phone number, you can touch me, text me, call me, what I can. And I have an extra coupons. I think this is special if your customers buy a second home. Because the insurance company will probably ask them to install this, the leak detection. Leak detection and the auto shut off. So if they detect anything leaking, just shut off your main water.
My friends have that in their
Yeah.
cabin. and
Yes.
So this is something probably your customer, if you have a customer buying a second home and
A cabin, like my girlfriend has a cabin, they just did that, it was pretty, yeah.
yes. So
And
you
someone
just
just forgot-
control on your phone.
Yes.
If you want to have a vacation, say, oh, my house is leaking, let me turn off the water.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
I guess let me ask you a question. If anything that you thought you were gonna see, you didn't see, anything we could do better if we were to do this again?
I would say the cost estimate. And also the outcome, for some of the scenarios you talked about.
Yeah.
You can describe the situation you did before, describe what you did, give the customer feedback. I think that makes your credentials strong and also solid.
Okay, thank you for that.
Good question, so like for this, is it the kind of thing where an agent could like get co-branded on it to send out to their customers and get. Like connect with you and then
Sure.
they can get it to their whole database,
Yeah.
something like that.
Thank you.
I would never open house, Kevin.
So I think we brought like 100 of those things, so There's plenty to go around, take a bunch, and then just hand them out to your clients.
I will leave it with the Jordan.
Yeah, I'll distribute the rest of those at the next sales rally. They'll be interested.
So, did everybody sign or give us their information? And then I guess we'll have to collect the info for those who are on the line.
I got them on top of that too.
Okay, perfect. Great, thanks
Awesome.
again.
And thanks so much for lunch as well.
Have a great rest of the
Thanks
day.
Danielle for putting this together.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for the invitation. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yes, and thank you, Jordan, to help her know how to, for the savings out. Thank you so much.
Goodbye, folks on Zoom. I will get you all the information
Yeah.
to your email inbox.
How big are you guys?